I am just a simple peasant, forced into saving the world from some goofy-ass wizard.
I don't trust it. I don't trust it. No, I know I shouldn't.
One of his henchmen will have an unhealthy obsession with tic-tac-toe. Chickens will invade, leaving me covered in eggs. And just buying a pig isn't as easy as expected.
Oh, what the hell?
To complete 100%, I'll be maxing out every single piece of armor I own, I'll catch 500 fish because the game said so, and I'll complete all 48 Steam achievements as I take back the overworld and conquer the deep dark caves, in an attempt just to keep my villagers happy. Welcome to 100% of Necesse. I started by hacking down a tree and using the wood to craft myself a workstation, which I then plopped down in front of the local elder's house and used it to craft a pickaxe, because as we all know, men only yearn for the mines.
I see a ladder. Shut up, cow.
Using the ladder inside the elder's house to head underground.
It is loading. Oh. Be careful not to get lost. Got it.
Down inside, it was pitch black, so I placed down a torch, which meant I wasn't completely blind. Using my pickaxe to mine some copper ore and stone, where I was then asked to resurface by the mighty gods, robbing a settlement flag from our lovely elder.
Screw it. It's not told me to. Oh! Oh, that was easy.
And placed down the flag by the beach and named it, yep, you guessed it, Flaming Tapas, again. Then Mr. Elder had a quest for me. He already wanted me to summon and kill Evil's protector from a mysterious portal, and I get a lunchbox. Fair trade. And with that, the tutorial is over, and the mighty gods have thrown me into the deep end because, to be honest, I had no clue what to do next.
Yeah, but that's to run. What? I'm so lost. It's like unbelievable.
So, as a man, I thought the best option was to head to the mines, with the objective of crafting myself an anvil, but that meant I needed to get 5 iron bars, which is where I came across a man-eating zombie.
That is a zombie. Hey, dude. How you doing? Get kited.
Afterwards, I got a bit lucky though, and mined myself into a treasure room, and there was a surprisingly tall goblin inside.
Yeah, sit down. Oh my god. Oh, was it just 3 of them just like in a suit of armor? That's funny. Give me ninja stars. Oh, I hit something as well. God.
After my Naruto session was over, I finally found the thing I came down for, iron. Also coming across the mysterious portal after slaughtering a zombie. Hopping into the minecart because who wouldn't if you could. Then it was back to the surface to clear out some space around the settlement flag, where I was able to scoff down a blueberry to save myself from starving to death. Also giving myself a plus 2% crit chance, which is when I spotted Sue in the distance, and with it being my first opportunity, I attempted to seduce her into joining Flaming Tapas.
Will you join my settlement? I need 43 wool.
Afterwards, it was back to robbing Shane the Elder, stealing the trinket of leather dashes off his display case.
And now, I can sprint. Okay.
I then crafted a forge and shoved my iron ore inside, with wood to fuel the fire. From my adventures as well, I had gained some map fragments. With the map fragments, I'm able to put 2 together, which gives me the option of making either a local village map, local dungeons map, or a local pirate map. At the moment though, I'm too weak to go anywhere near those locations, so with that in mind, I made the anvil, now having the ability to upgrade my tools and gain myself some armor.
Armor. I'm gonna make myself some leather boots because screw it.
And with my feet protected, it was all the armor I needed to do this super smart thing that you can only do at night.
Screw it. Let's do it.
It didn't go well though.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Dude, I thought that challenge was going to be easy. It's just the first quest. I decided the reason for my failure was because I wasn't stylish enough, so I bought some cool guy glasses off the exotic merchant, venturing into the forest to vent out my frustrations. Figuring out, if I wanted to advance even a little bit, I needed to start getting upgrades, so back into the mines I went.
I know I could. Oh my god. What's that? Dude, come back. Where are you running away to?
Starting the chase.
Dude, get back here.
The dude had a plan all along though, as I ended up falling for his trap.
Oh my god, 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 oh my god.
But the spider was no match for my bow and arrow skills. I did get a bit of venom on my skin though, so I cleansed myself in a nice hot bath of lava.
Oh, it hurts me.
I'm not having a good start. Now, every time I die, I lose part of my inventory, so I had to dash over the lava to recover my stuff, which is when I stumbled across a bunch of sapphires, and I was surprised I was able to mine them up.
Ooh, sapphires. Right, what's in here? That looks like a booby trap.
Maybe because it was. This time, I decided it would be best to go around the trap and mine through the wall. And the chest inside had a few goodies, but the standout thing was a recall scroll, which I used to escape back to the settlement. Then I made myself a chest, stuffing my sapphires inside, and used Shane's roasting station to cook up some steak, making myself an alchemy table afterwards, which is where I started to learn potions were a thing and might be best to start using them. I also had enough copper from the mining trip to get my first upgraded weapon of the copper sword, also making a copper axe because chopping down trees takes a goddamn long time, with the fellow called Alistair visiting Flaming Tapas, so I flashed him some gold and was able to bribe him into joining.
Yeah.
Now, one of the conditions of getting Alistair to join was that he at least wanted a bed, so I got to work on killing some sheep to get some wool, also using my map fragments to locate a local village.
Not too shabby at all. Is this the village? It is.
Seems I had my first recruit into the Flaming Tapas army. It was time to coerce these villagers as well. They were a little bit more demanding though, saying they at least wanted food, so I told them to shove it, which meant back to iron hunting I went, and that's when I came across a suspiciously placed lever.
The hell? Oh my god. I've got so much stone!
After making the place go boom, I ended up scrapping with some of Dracula's minions, and found myself in an ice biome.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Oh, that's annoying.
And once I got my stuff back, I resurfaced, ripping off the pawnbroker, selling him a broken copper tool for 80 gold. And that whole adventure was just to make a carpenter's bench. And with the carpenter's bench, I was meant to be able to make a bed, but guess what? I still didn't have enough wool. So, while I was trying to find some sheep, I realized that the adventurer's journal kinda pointed me in the direction I should be going. Also messing around with the zoom in function, so now we'll be sitting at a nice 150% zoom. Then it was back to the main objective, slaughtering sheep. And finally, I was able to make Alistair his bed.
Unhappy.
Now, for all of those who think I'm a heartless bastard, I did end up building him some walls so he wasn't going to freeze to death overnight. Also building a path between the buildings and taking a little nap myself. After that, I had smelted enough copper to make myself the copper chestplate, which I equipped and it gave me +2 armor, meaning now I could tank more damage. Also making the trinket of tracker boots, which would give me 10% movement speed. Then, Lay the miner turned up, so I tricked her into joining as well with a bit of gold. One of the good things about the miners is that you're able to send them out to mine for you, so I took Lay up on the offer, paying her 147 gold to find me some iron ore.
Ooh, snowy area. Duck.
Oh, that scream. Lay was then back quicker than expected.
It's my miner. You wanted a bed, didn't you?
61 iron? Buddy.
Off you go again.
And as Lay was doing the Lord's work, I decided she deserved a bed as well.
Ow. What the hell are you? Stabby bush.
Then, Paul the farmer showed up, so I bribed him to join Flaming Tapas as we kinda had no food, thinking maybe that the farmer would be the same as the miner. However, that's not the case, so regretting my decision, I ended up buying one rope off him.
Yeah, I got a cow. Come on, dude.
Now, I didn't even have a pen for a cow yet, so I had to shove him into the holding cell. I had, however, completed all of the forest surface challenges in the Adventurer's Journal, which unlocked me a frog costume. It did kinda look too ridiculous to even try out though.
Hello. Oh my god. Dude, you're a savior. Go out and get more.
With the Lay's trips to the mines, it allowed me to get a few iron upgrades, crafting myself the iron sword and pickaxe. Then I brought Alistair down into the mines with me.
I knew that was mostly going to happen because I could see it so close.
That's the hazard of using bombs, but they are good for clearing up ores. By the time I reached the spider's nest though, I had ran out, so I couldn't even experiment with them, having to clear out the spiders one by one, for nothing even to be there. The mobs, however, didn't seem to like what I had done, with the whole armada chasing me out of the mines. So, out of spite, I used the spider glands I got to make myself the spider chestplate, which reduced the knockback effect and had free armor to it. Then it was time to get Paul's farm underway, placing down my first few farm plots and putting some tomato and cabbages inside.
Right, hello. Got me some gold. And a bit of sapphire.
After, I went wood chopping so I could make a pen for the cow, and with Lay's expeditions going so quickly, I was able to upgrade to the golden sword, also equipping the weak shine bell that I had found in the mines, which lit up a small area around me. The drawback of it though was that it gave me -4 armor. Now that I had upgraded to some of the golden equipment, I felt a bit more confident, so I summoned Evil's Protector for round 2.
Crap. Health potions. God damn it.
Realizing I had expendable villagers that I could use as meat shields.
So the more people, the harder it is.
With more villagers involved, each boss's health increases, but it doesn't necessarily make it harder.
Ah! Get juked. Come on. We got him. Have we? Has escaped because of the light. No way. Oh, that is annoying. It was so close to being dead as well. Okay, we can get him.
That wasn't the only bad thing to happen as well.
No, my cow.
I then decided, who would be the best person to bring into the mines? Oh, I know, the farmer. So yep, now I needed a revive potion to bring Paul back up. The reason I was in the mines was because I was looking for frost shards, as they're the next upgrade after gold. Using the frost shards I found to make myself a frost sword, going into the evil protectors fight even stronger. This time, banishing the demon before the light did it for me.
Right, give me my lunchbox, buddy.
With the Elder having new demands straight away, and wanted me to kill the Spider Queen. Also, from killing the demon, I was given the demonic cloak, demon heart, and some demonic bars, with being able to chomp down the demonic heart, increasing my max health by 50. I could also consume the demon cloak, and that gave me a second item set. Then I used the demonic bars to upgrade my anvil, which gave me a lot more weapons to choose from. And for fun, I decided to become a cowboy and make myself the sapphire revolver, having a duel against a zombie. Afterwards, it was time to stack all my food inside my TARDIS lunchbox. Then using some enchanting scrolls I found in the mines to upgrade my frost sword, giving it plus 10% damage and 20% attack speed. And after all that, I got Glenn the Angler to join and sent him on a fishing trip. Then it was back to chasing cavelings in the mines.
Oh, Queen Spider, Queen Spider, Queen Spider. Nope. Mistakes were made.
And that's what the Elder wants me to kill next.
Crap, oh crap. Dude.
Using the big brain of mine and jumped into the minecart to escape, and used some of my frost shards to get myself the frost glaive, which is practically a fidget spinner in weapon form. I also tested out the frost staff before running into a massive beat, which is when I came across some stairs that led down into a trial room. Idiot. The first trial wanted me to follow the pattern that was on the right, but as you've just seen, I don't think Harriet, my new guard, got the memo. So I cracked on alone, making it to the other side, for the next trial to be exactly the same.
Give me a revive potion for my Donny because he's an idiot.
Again, there wasn't much of note in the chests, so I decided that Harriet kinda deserved his fate and chalked it down to natural selection.
Raiders are approaching from the northeast. Come on then.
These raiders were being a bit cocky, as letting me know beforehand is a ballsy move, allowing me to light up the forest so I could see, and showed them who's boss, until Darcy decided to get involved. I did manage to scare off the raiders, but with my third villager down, I decided it may be time to look at some revive potions, changing my mind seconds later.
Okay. The dungeon.
The dungeon wasn't really well hidden, making me think I didn't even need a map, and I came face to face with some void apprentices. To get the next set of upgraded tools, I needed void shards, and the good thing about the void apprentices was that they dropped them. It was time to do some dungeon crawling though, so I headed down to see what was cracking, and found a red glowing circle on the floor, so of course I went and touched it, giving me double damage, but I also took double the damage as well. Then I found Hester the mage who had been captured. He may have been a criminal or just like to be tied up, but I set him free on the condition he joined the settlement. After, I found the yellow circle on the floor and got polymorphed into a chicken, to which I then used my ice glaive to fight my way through the dungeon.
Oh, that's another level.
Realizing, oh crap, this may be a boss fight. So I chugged as many potions as I had and started the scrap against the Void Wizard, just to wimp out again because he was too strong for my liking, which meant I took a page out of Freerun's book and explored the whole dungeon first, to find myself a berserk lightning hammer.
That's cool as well.
I did end up dying to a trap, but I used that mistake to test out the boat, while capturing a sheep on my return journey, and put the revive potions back on the agenda, heading to the local village to steal all their plants.
Feeding trout. Oh, no.
Afterwards, I realised Hester was kind of useful, chucking him some gold to enchant some of my equipment.
Really? Minus?
But he was kind of on the grumpy side, so I gave him a bed, placing down some more farm plots so I could grow some firemoan and ice blossoms, then venturing out into the desert to find myself a cactus, which finally allowed me to make the revive potions. And I looked for Harry at first, who apparently has done a vanishing act, so instead I got Grace and Darcy back up from the raid, and completely forgot about Paul the farmer, eventually deciding it was time to upgrade the holding cell. Also for reference, I'm now able to make demonic bars using my other ores, upgrading my pickaxe to a demonic one, and placing the beds I stole from the dungeon into the holding cell, as well as making a crafting area by the farms, using my new setup to start upgrading the village's equipment.
You already got the void staff. Oh, it's a void spear. Or you're a mage.
And with Alistair and Hester all kitted out, I brought them along into the mines.
Oh, hello.
Now, Paul must have been so happy to be revived, but if he knew what I was about to do, I think he would have rather played dead for a little longer, as I summoned the Spider Queen, and if you're wondering why I have so much health, it's because I ate some sushi.
We got him.
And from killing the Spider Queen, I got the Spider Heart, which permanently buffed my health by 50, also getting an erectile dysfunctional weapon.
I'll leave these guys here for now. Oi, dude. Oh, idiots. Stupid ass.
Then I demanded my reward from Shane and collected the ammo pouch, with the Void Wizard being selected as my next target. So without dropping a beat, I was back to fight the Void Wizard, but apparently beating the Spider Queen got to my head.
If I brought the actual health potions I needed, I wouldn't have died.
With my ego taking a bit of a hit, I took on the Evil's Protector again to revive it, heading back to the Void Wizard just to get another beatdown, and I eventually conceded defeat, deciding to relax in a nice Japanese garden, before tunneling all the way to the local village. Then I revived Hester and Alistair, leaving Paul the farmer to rot once again, and placed down the worst defensive wall in the world, which was meant to keep out the pack of rogue hunters who were showing up. After, I did some small talk with Hester and found out that he had the monopoly on fast travel, so I bought a homestone and a waystone, placing down the first waystone outside the dungeon, and got a bit too close to the pirate outpost.
Oh, I'm dead. Run the mage!
With Hester captured once again, I decided to use that time to break him out the holding cell and give him his own gaff. Then went on a little walk and found myself face to face with a wild ostrich, before stumbling across another village. And I jumped into their mines where I came across my first runestone, also coming across the runebound chieftain. So I kinda dipped because if I can't beat the Void Wizard, I defo can't beat him.
Holy crap, it's got a homing beef. Oh, okay. I thought I was getting a chase by it.
But I did use the runes I found to upgrade my armor from 20 to 30, deciding it was time to get Hester back, so he could tank the Void Wizard. Taking him down, well, he kinda took me down at the same time.
Let's get it off. Teleportation scroll. Get my first pet.
The Void Wizard dropped a few items. The first was an empty pendant which allowed me to upgrade to 5 trinkets, and the second was some magic stilt which I'm going to assume is the first pet. Afterwards, I collected my void pouch from the Elder, who put the runebound wizard next on the chopping block.
Who's wearing the hat?
Darcy. What the hell? That wasn't the only weird thing I found, as I got myself a pet grizzly from a barrel, and with the holding cell starting to overflow, it was time to build some bland houses. Then I did my annual robbing of the desert village, deciding to clear out the area around the runebound chieftain, eventually finding enough runes to equip myself with the full set of runic armor, before placing down a waystone outside of the desert village, so they knew I'd be back.
Bone offering, there we go, got it.
After I got the bone offering, it was back to the surface, where I got Harriet the alchemist to join the settlement, and for some reason she sold fireworks.
Ha! That's cool.
And I finally worked out that if I give my adventurers party some recall scrolls, they'll just recall back home instead of dropping dead.
Summon art thou.
For the runebound chieftain, he underestimated me, sending in his minions first, which I annihilated. So he showed up himself and I just obliterated him as well.
Got him. That was a lot easier than I expected.
Gaining myself a runic heart, and chomping it down, putting my max health up to 250, and collected the shipping chest from our elder, with the Swamp Guardian next on the list. Before I set my sights on the Swamp Guardian though, I placed down the shipping chest, and that meant traders in my settlement would automatically go out on missions to sell the items I placed inside. Then it was to the swamp biome, having a little test to see if the cave biomes were linked to the land biomes. But being correct isn't always a good thing, as I was greeted by some yucky swamp spores, which meant I was jumping in and out of the mine to get rid of the plants producing them, allowing me to go on a rampage while searching for the spiked fossil, also taking a detour and mining into the cult hideout of the evil witches, finding myself the neurotic greatsword.
Oh, this sword is cool.
And then came across a miner who had been captured by some vampires, returning to the desert village once again because I'm now stealing for sport.
Oh, deleted. I'm gonna kill a villager. No, I'm not. They're gonna kill me. My bad.
Realising maybe I should start working on my own village instead, and created a new path heading south, also making a windmill so I could start processing all the wheat I had stolen. Let's just not notice the mistake of adding a cornfield below instead of a wheat field. Pirates then raided during the night, which meant I was honor bound to retaliate in the morning.
This is like Bowser, I swear.
I did end up failing my mission to rescue Princess Peach, with the captain mocking me with a maybe next time lad. And once I returned from Bowser's castle, I went mining to hunt for the next upgrade of ivory ore, deciding to scrap a polar bear because he growled at me.
Or waiting for that to grow.
Oh, it's not... Oh, I planted corn. Using the ivory ore I found to start upgrading my equipment.
Used to summon a pet penguin. Yep.
It then occurred to me that now I have the ivory pickaxe, I could just start mining quartz instead. And while I was hunting for quartz, I stumbled across another puzzle room. So it was time for me to pull out my inner Indiana Jones, dodging some arrows, spikes, cutting discs, more arrows.
I might just dart it.
Fire and arrows, even more spikes, and lastly, more cutting discs, eventually making it to the treasure room, meaning all the gold in here was mine. And I also found an ancient statue, which is for the boss after the Swamp Guardian.
An ancient statue. Oh, it is!
Starting the ancient vulture fight a tad early, but to be honest, I didn't do a bad job.
Boom!
And gained myself a vulture talon.
I'm on 2 health.
Once back on the surface, I was kind of getting jealous of Hester being a mage and wanted to try it out, so I made the amethyst staff, also having enough quartz to make myself the full quartz armor set. And with killing the ancient vulture early, the elder let me complete the quest early, which gained me a recall flask. Afterwards, I thought the village could use some more decorations, adding in some fire chalices that I stole from the dungeon a while back. Going, well, if I can take down the ancient vulture, I must be able to take down the Swamp Guardian.
Oh, what? How much health does he have?
However, my ego got crushed once again.
Right, it's doable. I just need all my buffs.
So I got the band back together, and that did the job, gaining the Guardian's Heart, which put my max health up to 300, and also receiving a sloppy shell, collecting my reward from the Elder once again. And now Bowser Jr. was up, so wasting no time, I was back at Bowser Jr.'s castle, ending up taking a big bomber to the face, which meant he wasn't going to have any mercy when I returned. And from killing him, I gained the Deep Cave Ladder, also gaining a Pirate Sheath, which upgraded my trinket slots to 6. After, I found Hepzibah the Stylist all tied up. So I set her free as my hair was starting to grow a little too long, helping myself to all their loot, and showed the town how generous I could be by putting in golden shallots in everyone's room, heading over to the Elder to collect the coin pouch, with me thinking I misheard the Elder when he said, oh, you can go after the Grim Reaper now. However, he did say in return I'd get a hoverboard, so it's kind of a fair trade, wasting no time and placed down the Deep Cave Ladder.
Oh my god.
With the first thing I stumble across being shiny rubies, heading off to explore before the Italian Mafia decided to turn up, fending off the mob boss and his henchmen.
The Mafia are down and we've got a bunch of handguns.
Shipping off the handguns to the black market. And back into the deep mines I went, coming across some purple circles.
No! Oh! Oh my god!
Fourth time ended up being the charm, after I worked out I could just break the goddamn circles. I then mined some tungsten ore and found a weirdly looking shadow gate in a chest.
I could make it rain, baby.
After, I realised I was able to upgrade my neurotic greatsword to a hex blade, sticking on an enchant so it would go berserk, upgrading my void alchemy table to a cave glove one, which allowed me to make even better potions, remembering that my void pouch was a thing and I could be an even bigger hoarder. Then I drank the Spelunker potion for the first time, which made all the ores around me shine, so I was able to mine as much tungsten as I needed to upgrade my pickaxe, and switched priority to finding glacial ores in the deep snow cave, also finding some life quartz which sadly don't give me an extra life. Going, why don't I just make this a lot easier, and set a waystone connected to the deep snow caves? Then I got a little bit bored, so I knocked off some achievements to kill time, getting self-proclaimed hot tub,
Swim. Hot tub.
and demolition expert, eventually plucking up the courage to take on the Grim Reaper. However, courage doesn't win battles alone, and the Grim Reaper took my soul, due to my fat ass not being able to move around. So I got to clearing out some space and gave it another shot, telling Death not today, and gained myself a wise shadow beam.
Oh my god.
Collecting my well-deserved hoverboard off Shane the Elder and doing a few tricks over water.
Oh my god.
Let's go! Seems the Reaper was down. My next target was the Cryo Queen, and I used my past experience to clear out some space before the battle. Didn't stop me from getting absolutely deleted though. So I decided for a career change and made the landscaping station, and set all the villagers off to work cutting down trees, expanding Hester's house because if I wanted better enchants, he needed to be treated like a king.
Deal with. Oh my god. The hoverboard. It's got a boost. Whoa.
While I was testing the boost system out for fun, Dracula thought it would be a good time to harvest some blood, using their bat power to have a sneak attack on the settlement. I then checked out a bunch of different paths to see which one I should use as the pavement, before deciding to spam a bunch of chests into the holding cell. And with Hester the mage having his own gaff, I made a forge for when I eventually get blacksmith, using the desert village for inspiration. Afterwards, in the dark, I went to the swamp biome to grab some willow logs, and then the snow biome for palm logs, allowing me to upgrade the carpenter's bench, eventually deciding on the snow path to be the main path, setting up a town square and placing the settlement flag inside. Now, having a corn farm as a wheat farm doesn't really help me make flour, so for my wheat production I eventually caved and made a proper wheat farm, giving a bed to Paul the farmer so he could watch the crops like a hawk. Diving back into the deep snow cave so I could expand the battle arena even more for the Cryo Queen, but that still didn't help me, making me start to blame my villagers for being weak, in a hope that a pep talk would do the trick, which is when I finally learnt about the life elixir. Each life elixir I drank, it would put up my max HP by 10, with a cap at 100. To make them, I needed the life quartz I found earlier. I was able to guzzle down 4, but I eventually ran out of life quartz to make any more. Throughout all of this, my stockpile of items was getting a bit too much, so I decided it was time for my trader to find a sucker who wanted all of my scraps. And after, it was time to face the next level of booby traps.
Seed gun. What is seed gun?
I was back in the mines though to get some obsidian, and while I was on this little trip, I came across a floating head who called itself the Cursed Crone. Now since the crone was in an arena, I thought it would probably be best to place down a waypoint for easy access, exploring more of the deep forest as it contained amber and dryad trees, which both were needed for the next set of upgrades, allowing me to head straight to Shrek's deep swamp to mine some mycelium ore for the very next upgrade. Then, when back up, I figured out that I could make a training dummy, so I was able to start min-maxing my stats, using a bit of time to bully the training dummy with the minigun I bought from the gunsmith. After, I gave the desert village a gift of the deep cave ladder, which would link up to the deep desert cave.
Ah, okay, so it does work like that.
And I was at the deep desert cave because I had already upgraded my pickaxe to a mycelium one, meaning now I could go after the ancient fossils in the deep desert. Before I found any though, I ended up stumbling across an ancient crypt which kind of ate me up and spat me straight back out again. With Snow White and her frozen dwarfs deciding it was a perfect time to attack, which meant I had to show them my wrath. My wrath, however, doesn't scare the sandworms, making me put down a waystone so I could continue to die while clearing out the crypts, eventually finding the ancient fossil ore I had been looking for and used it to upgrade my armor. Then it was time to fight the Cryo Queen once again, as I had upgraded a lot in a short space of time. However, my ego got the best of me once more, thinking I could take her on alone, and with that failing, I got the boys involved just to still get obliterated. So I took my frustrations out on the evil protector again, double checking my party's equipment to see if that was where I was lacking. But that wasn't the case. I just had a case of extreme tunnel vision, sticking to only melee weapons when the Cryo Queen was just too hard to hit. Meaning I needed to take a break, which allowed me to think about my mistakes. I then returned to figure out that I was able to expand Flaming Tapas into an even bigger settlement. And after, prepared my Mighty Mage build to see if that was the answer to my Cryo Queen crisis. Also realising I could buy a potion pouch off the exotic merchant.
Huh. Why? Why has it took me, like, now to realise?
Showing up to the Queen in my Magical Mage build.
Yes! Let's go! Oh, that took so much effort.
With finally defeating the Cryo Queen, I gained the Cryo Heart, which boosted my max HP up by another 50, as well as getting the Wise Cryo Quake magical staff, which I tested out on the Grim Reaper. Then I wanted to get the achievement Too Easy, where I needed to kill a boss within 30 seconds. So I took on the Queen Spider because she had no invulnerable stage like the Evil Protector. Afterwards, I squared up to the floating head because the crone was too ugly just to be left floating around. But for some reason, the crone had an obsession with playing tic-tac-toe, which I would have happily done if he didn't cheat and skip my go.
Ow.
And after skipping my go, the crone decided to A-train me, exploding me into pieces. And I'm not really the type to let that slide, so I went back for vengeance.
And we win. Enjoy your loss, sucker.
With the crone going down on my second attempt, gaining me the bark blade, but to be honest it was pretty crap, even if it did look cool. I then collected my reward from the Elder and got a missions board, placing it down and setting up a mission for Mycelium ore. However, it didn't seem to work, and to this day I still don't know how to get it working. So I headed back to Shrek's Deep Swamp, clearing out some space for the next boss of the Pest Warden. And apparently I'm the pest, as when summoned, the gigantic worm decided to aim straight for me and I got flattened, which made me feel like I was still super weak. So I looked at my armor and I figured out that when you have a full armor set, you gain an extra ability.
Oh my god, what?
Putting the loss against the pest down to not having enough space, so I got to clearing out some more, remembering that I could just use the bombers to make it easier, taking the pest on again, but I had no clue why I did so little damage at certain stages.
No, man, I had him. I have him. I can do him.
Heading to Hester so I could cry on his shoulder, which is when I found out you could enchant your trinkets.
If it bleeds, it can die. Yes!
With the pest being so bloody big, I couldn't find where to collect my reward, so it took a bit of searching before I eventually found my loot, where I gained the Warden's Heart, which boosted my max HP up to 510, as well as gaining the Venom Shower Staff. Then, heading to the Elders to tick off the quest, also gaining a Portal Flask, which allowed me to create portals from one place to another, deciding I might as well drop into the crypts to summon Sage and Grit.
Oh my god. Oh my god, we got 2 dragons!
And it didn't actually go too bad, but Grit did end up getting me before I was able to get him, so I took a nap rediscovering something I learnt earlier on.
You can fast forward? No way!
Afterwards, I realised I had been fighting for quite a while, so I took a bit of time out to create a pasture. I just forgot to move the sheep in once it was built, and instead went back to the crypts to hunt the sandworm, because the ancient fossil armour also needed worm carapace to be built. Sadly, the sandworm only shows up though when you don't want him to, as he made me run around the whole desert for a good few minutes before turning up. Once they did though, I killed a few, and it allowed me to craft the Ancestor's robe, hat and boots. And with my armor upgraded, I summoned Grit and Sage once again, being able to take out Grit first and Sage coming down shortly after.
Boom! And there's some stairs.
Before heading down the secret stairs, I checked out what Sage and Grit dropped, and got myself the Bow of Dualism. Then it was time to delve deeper into the crypts, where I fought my way through just to find another set of stairs, and down them was the Fallen Wizard.
He hasn't got that much health.
So I wasted no time in getting the first hit in, and it must have peeved him off, as he sent a bunch of attacks at me, which included a spiral attack, dragons, a void minigun, air cutters, and a massive beam of voidness, which ended up being the effective blow taking me down.
No! No, I was so close.
But now I knew all his tricks, I was straight back in.
You were joking me. I got too obsessed of killing him.
Deciding the crypt had to be defiled because I couldn't be bothered walking around every time to find the stairs. And this time, the fight went a little bit more smoothly.
We've got him. We've got him.
With the fallen wizard down, he dropped a wizard socket, which increased my max trinket slots up to 7. He also dropped the abyssal cloak, increasing my item set up to 4, as well as getting something completely new of a gateway tablet, which needed to be placed into a fallen altar to be activated. Then it was time to speak to the elder, completing his final quest, which upgraded my void pouch into a void bag. Now, seems the gateway tablet needed the fallen altar, I figured that was next on the list, so I crafted it straight away as all I needed was some processed bars. And from crafting it, I gained the banner of war from the adventurer's journal.
Rapidly spawn enemies around it. Enemies will attempt to destroy the banner, break down obstacles in their way.
After looking at the banner, I placed down the fallen altar and found the incursion perk tree.
What? 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 No way. There's so much to still go.
To gain perks in the incursion tree, I needed altar dust, which luckily I had gained from the fallen wizard. So I used 30 out of my 60 to get the perk even more dust. And by the name, I think you can guess what it does, with the next tier of perks needing 100 dust to unlock. I then placed the gateway tablet inside the fallen altar, and it showed me what I could gain from the snow gateway tablet, with the standout thing being cryo essence. In the gateway tablets, it also shows you the area modifiers which will go up the higher tier you're at. And with all that, I just had to check inside, to be greeted with only an orange portal to give me light. So I got my torches out and headed into the darkness, as the gateway tablets needed me to hunt down all the enemies until the progress bar at the bottom was full, slaughtering as many as I could before taking my first fall at 40%, and then again taking my second fall at 95%, with a new portal appearing at the entrance once the bar was at 100.
Art thou boss portal? 5 attempts. Alright.
And guess who was back? The Cryo Queen. But this time she was much stronger, and I knew I was too weak, which meant I needed to work out how I was going to get upgrade shards and tier essence before heading back in. Or that's what I should have done, but instead I just YOLO'd back in.
Nope.
Then again, and again, until I finally learned the lesson of she was just a beast, and I closed the incursion, just to open up the exact same one again afterwards.
And I'm dead. Why do I feel so weak?
I had been spotting some red and blue ores around in the incursion though, so I decided to use my Spelunker potion, which made the blue ores shine. And that's when I found my first batch of upgrade shards, with finding that the red ones were alchemy shards. I did, however, have to head back up, because Chicken Little and his army of angry chickens decided to attack.
What is this? I really need a photo.
The thing that I was now lacking was tier essence, so until I got that, I wasn't able to use my upgrade or alchemy essence. So this time, I went into the deep forest incursion, and instead of a hunt to fill up the progress bar, I needed to mine as much tungsten ore as I could, with the Grim Reaper being the final boss. And let's just say I kinda got pummeled a few times, learning that the tier essence was definitely what I needed, as I also needed it to make the upgrade and salvage stations.
Oh. Well, at least you guys know how long stuff takes.
And you don't even know the half of it. But seems I got one achievement, I thought why don't we grow a beard so I could get another. Then it was time to put fighting on the back burner, as I added in some more farmlands to make a cave glow farm. After, I moved my sheep into their new pen, adding in some cows to be their next door neighbours, finishing up by making a little sunflower farm. And all of this was so I could make stronger potions, which I took into the next Grim Reaper fight and was able to take him down due to the steroids I had crafted.
Yes. Get in.
With the Reaper dropping what I needed, tier essence, and each boss has their own type. So for the Reaper, he dropped 27 shadow essence, also dropping a nice 170 upgrade shards as well, allowing me to do what I've been craving for, upgrade to the Fallen Anvil, having a little gander before upgrading the Fallen Alchemy table as well, which gives me even stronger steroids. I was however out of tier essence to actually make something useful, although I did have enough altar essence to get my first tier 2 perk, which now allowed me to get tier 2 gateway tablets. And with my newfound confidence, I took on the Cryo Queen once again, which ended up with me flat on the floor, and deciding it was time to make some proper houses instead of the prison cells the villagers were currently living in.
Oh, what the hell?
With a bunch of villagers getting wiped out by some ancient skeletons. Afterwards, I was like, it's been 98 days and I still haven't even gone fishing, so I kinda did that. Then it was back to the houses, also giving the blacksmiths a little makeover, and I set up the X-holding cell as my new crafting area. And after a few days, I was able to upgrade some of my settlers' armor to ancient fossil armor. But getting worm carapace is an absolute chore.
If you charge it up, it slices through enemies. Say if I were... Oh, that's cool.
Eventually thinking, surely I'm strong enough to take down this goddamn queen.
And we're dead. But the other guys did survive, so that's a good thing.
And right I was, because finally I was able to bring her crashing down. Using the Cryo Queen's essence I snatched off her to make myself the upgrade station. And with the upgrade station, you're able to upgrade your weapons and armor, starting from tier 1, and you have to make your way all the way to tier 10, with each upgrade costing more than the last.
Tier 2. And it goes again. Tier 3. But I've got it at tier 3. Oh. And now I need Primordial Essence.
Giving our local test dummy a little workout.
1,000 DPS a second. Oh.
And checked up on how the armor does in the upgrade station as well.
Dean armor. Ah. So that's now 4. What?
Safe to say, I was pretty pleased with the upgrade station, doubling my amount of armor from 25 to 50. There was also one more thing I was able to make, the salvage station. And with the salvage station, you're able to put an item inside that is tiered, and you exchange that item for some upgrade shards, with the higher items netting you more profit. But now that I had finished up all of my upgrading, it was time to head into my first tier 2 incursion, choosing the desert as I'd rather die of heatstroke than fight the Cryo Queen once again. Inside, I was tasked with mining ancient fossil ores. Then it was taking down Sage and Grit, but sadly, as you kinda know, they're a lot stronger. Or they were until I grinded for a few days.
One down. Two down.
Gaining myself some primordial essence and using my altar dust to get some tier 2 perks. Then using my primordial essence to make the dragon lance and upgraded it to tier 2.
Holy crap.
And with the Dragon Lance, I was now strong enough to take down Sage and Grit on my own. Then, after that triumphant win, I headed into the slime cave, to which is where I met the mother slime. And god, she loved to bounce around. However, the bouncing did end up squishing me, so I used some of my leftover primordial essence to make 3 more Dragon Lances for my villagers.
The squad beams.
And with the squad beaming, we were able to take down the mother slime, gaining myself some slime essence, also allowing me to move up to tier 3 perks. Then I took her on again, because she didn't drop the tier 3 gateway tablet I needed, going, hey, the slime armor looks way cooler than the fossil armor, so I changed it.
That's cool.
With it being time to hunt down Dracula once and for all. First though, I needed to mine some Nightsteel ore to bait him out. I however didn't account for Dracula giving his minions a kamikaze order.
Ow. What the hell are all these bombs?
Eventually being able to take on the boss of the Night Swarms, and well, I kinda got swarmed, with it taking me 4 attempts until I could defeat them, moving me up to tier 4 perks.
Oh my god, what the hell is that?
And because I'm a curious man, I went inside, just to get disintegrated by some Tesla coils. But in the middle was just a dungeons chest, finding inside my first set of Omni Crystals. And after, it was time for the tier 4 incursion, which brought me to a spider cave, and for spiders, they sure know how to decorate a place.
Ow. 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 And ow.
What they didn't know to do was bolt down their items, because as soon as I saw their massive golden throne, it was already in my pocket. The Spider Empress wasn't too impressed with what I did, however, and can I just tell you, she has some deadly webs, also having an insane ability of shooting out a circle of webs from her butt. That was kind of it though, but as basic as it is, I couldn't handle it. So I went a bit overboard, deciding to upgrade my slime armor to tier 6 and then my dragon lance to tier 8. I would have upgraded it to tier 10, but for tier 9 and 10, 10, I needed to find something called an Ascendant Shard. By doing all of this, I was able to knock off an achievement, which wanted me to equip a tier 5 weapon and full armor set. This time, visiting the spider hideout with the whole village, and somehow ended up with a worse result. So, to make my villagers feel a smidge better, I gave them all the glory of killing the Cryo Queen. And then it was back to the grind, until I was strong enough to take down the spider cave, and once I was, I upgraded to the tier 5 perks.
So can I take this? Oh, I can. Ancient Mummy Statue, it's mine.
Wasting no time in jumping into the new tier 5 incursion, which was a little bit of a change up from the others, as now we were in a trial, with the Moonlight Dancer only dancing for 10 seconds before I lost the dance off. So I went back in determined not to be shown up on the dance floor a second time.
What just happened?
Figuring out in the third battle how to protect myself from his dance moves. However, learning his one combo didn't protect me enough to actually beat him, which meant I needed to find myself a new dance tutor for the next few days.
Overpowered, unlock and equip a full set of tier 10 armor.
Finally being strong enough to bust my moves on the dance floor, taking the Moonlight down.
Woo!
Allowing me to upgrade to tier 6 perks.
Sunlight Champion. Oh my god.
The Sunlight Champion had 2 flying flaming fists, which also had a built-in heat seeker, so it didn't take long until I was punched square in the temple. Now, I was fully kitted out except for the stuff that required Ascendant Shards, meaning it was time to stick my villagers through their training arc, with them being able to crown me the next Sun Champion once it was over.
They can't handle the sauce.
Heading into the last unique incursion of the Crystal Hollow, where I was asked to mine some Persistent Diamonds, while massive crystal golems were shooting beams at me. Their forces, however, were no match, and I was able to summon the Crystal Dragon without any issues, who then turned out to be one of the easiest bosses I've had to face, and I took it down on the first try, and with the dragon down, I was able to unlock the tier 8 perks. But with no more unique incursions, it meant I had to grind until I had enough altar dust for the tier 9 and tier 10 perks, with tier 10 perks allowing me to get those pesky ascending shards. So I gained my first by beating Moonlight back on the dance floor, upgrading my Dragonlance to tier 9 and showed him up again because I needed to get another for tier 10. Then I did 5 incursions so I could get 5 more ascending shards, which allowed me to make the Ascended Gateway. And of course, straight away I plopped it into the Fallen Altar and headed inside, and I was greeted with pure voidness and destruction, with the task of defeating Ascended Pylons. The Pylons, however, had somehow hypnotized my villagers, so I was the only one who could attack them. Each Pylon did something different. The first Pylon imitated the Sun Champion,
So there's 3.
the second imitated the Slime Mother without the bouncing, and the third imitated the Spider Cave with their cutting webs.
Oh, he's approaching. Oh. Oh my god. Am I dead? I don't trust it. I don't trust it. No, I know I shouldn't.
That was the final boss fight, and sadly I wasn't able to take down the Ascended Wizard on the first try, or the second, or the third, or even the sixth, and I was forced to close the gateway. And now, when I say I struggled, and I mean I struggled a lot, as it took me well over 15 attempts until I finally took down the second stage, only to be greeted by a third.
Come on! Oh my god, okay, third round. Come on.
And in the meantime, while I was just in a death loop, I decided I would start working on these achievements, otherwise it's gonna take me years, as I needed to collect every single item and I was still over 1,000 off. The first achievement I went for though, meant I finally had some time to do some proper fishing, with the task of fishing up 500 fish. Then I equipped 2 of my guards with blazers, dress shoes and sunglasses, getting me the next achievement, Secret Service. After, I had to defeat the fallen wizard while 5 of his dragons were still alive, with getting 40 perks from the perk tree as the next task. And in between all of this, I was still grinding to get everyone strong enough to beat the Ascending Wizard.
Damn it.
Until eventually I cracked after attempt 35.
Oh my god. As much as my honor wants to do it, I can't. I don't get how people do it. I'm brutal.
And with taking down the difficulty, because to be honest guys, I do still have a job while making these videos, I was able to take down the Ascending Wizard.
My honor. This is hurting. I do want to say, I didn't want to do that. But it had to be done.
From kinda defeating the Ascended Wizard, that was the final boss complete, and I was now able to focus straight on the final 4 achievements. Out of the 4, I first got the You and What Army achievement, where I needed to have 10 settlers all stacked with tier 5 equipment or higher. Then I got the Expansionist, fully expanding my settlement to have a 240 by 240 tile border, and after, I was just plodding along while waiting for a raid, which took over 5 hours to arrive.
They're coming. They're coming.
Allowing me to finally use my trap system to take down a raider, which takes us up to right now. While I finished editing, I still haven't got the complete collector achievement, deciding the very last item I needed had to be from the Ascended Wizard, meaning the only way to get it back was to restore my honor.
Right. Imagine it doesn't drop though. The lag! Oh yeah, I'm zooming out. Come on. Right. I need to survive. Ah. Okay, we've got our health back. Okay. Come on, guys. I have faith.
Come on! Yes! We've got it! We've got it on normal difficulty!
Please give me the last item. Please. We have it. Oh, thank God for that. I have spent over 100 hours just getting this achievement. Oh, we've done it.